Hello, 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 and welcome to the TRC podcast, where my chair is very weird right now. I don't know what's going on with it, but besides that...
It's because I lowered it, Dane, because I ran the show on Thursday all by myself, and it was a hit.
The seat is sliding forward and back. It's very strange.
Dane,
the other seats don't do that.
Well, that's got a lock. You can just push it.
So anyway, guys, welcome to the show. I'm looking very short today because not only is the seat totally messed up, I am just in a nightmare scenario. This is great. We messed with this.
We're off to a rocky start here.
It's my birthday, so I expect people are messing with me.
It is today?
Yes.
Today?
So people are messing with me. I'm sure.
We're not trying to mess. You sat in the chair 5 minutes ago. And you didn't even notice it.
I didn't sit in it 5 minutes ago. I walked in here and I just set down my stuff and then I went back out.
Yeah, but well, then you sat down in it. But you've been sitting in it for a couple minutes and you just now noticed that.
Ridiculous.
What can you do? An ode to old age, right?
Anyway,
That's right.
Levi Gates on my right.
Hello.
Anthony Fisher on my left.
Hey.
And Dane Hennon in the middle. All right, so housekeeping, guys. While I figure out what the heck is going on in here, you guys just talk about stuff that's going on.
Well, I'm surprised you haven't felt the hole in the middle of the chair yet, right? We put that there.
What is this?
Stop moving around.
What is it?
I can't even believe this.
Hey, okay.
All right, so
I think
anyway.
you tried to hit something and you unlocked it.
It was free sliding, buddy.
Yeah, that's what it does.
That's how you typically like it, though, right?
So,
housekeeping.
it was a quiet week without you guys.
Yeah, I heard.
I ran a killer Q&A Thursday.
I know I showed up for that.
I appreciate you tuning in, helping the viewers out,
Yeah.
being able to provide some great insight on Dr. Color Chip.
Yep.
And it was a wonderful show. But I held it 2 full hours solid.
You did
no
it.
breaks. You guys only did an hour when you did it by yourself.
It's true.
So I'm pretty proud of myself for running a show for 2 straight hours,
It's
having a lot of
very impressive.
engagement, a lot of great questions, hardcore detailing questions.
Good.
Feel pretty proud.
That's what people
Almost
want.
ready to do my own show.
Wow.
Thinking
That's
about it.
Pretty insane.
It's called
Yeah.
Detox.
You have your own show.
Well, yeah, I
It-
do. I
it's
have a
it's
couple of
it's
them.
the
Yeah.
Master of Shine podcast.
Also,
Master
yes,
of
his
Shine
own
app.
program on his own time
Yeah, I'll
as
have to
well.
figure that
You
out.
haven't
Yes.
uploaded in over a year.
I haven't done that. So,
So the
anyway,
option is
but
there.
point is, I missed you guys. It's great to have you back. As of housekeeping, we have a couple things this week here at the Rag Company. We got to get the place looking nice because we've got the APC or FOD APC class coming.
There you go.
Future of Detailing Advanced Paint Correction, courtesy of Dr. Beasley's, Griot's, Lake Country, and Flex, happening here at the Rag Company starting Thursday, Friday. And then Saturday, this Saturday, the 6th, I believe, we have an open house here at the Rag Company. So if you guys are in town, you want to swing by, say hello to the guys from Dr. Beasley's, the guys from Griot's, the guys from Lake Country, maybe get your SV testing done. You can do that this Saturday here at the Rag Company. So that's happening. And then next week, we got Avery Dennison in the house for their tint intro.
I can't
intro
wait.
to tint.
That's a
Can't
busy
wait.
couple of
So
weeks.
we're going to
for you out
have
there.
a lot of fun.
We've always wanted to learn how to tint.
Man, it's going to be
Right.
good. I can't wait. I'm really excited about
Levi
it.
and Anthony's, good enough tint.
Yeah, 50 Shades of Tint.
50 Shades of Tint. We're not amateur. We're amateurs at this.
We're amateur professionals.
Amateur PDR and tint specialists, right? You may have glue marks on your paint and you might have bubbles in your tint, but you know what? The job is,
At least it's tinted and the dents popped.
something's done.
That's right.
Oh,
So,
dents pops.
and then towards the end of the month, obviously the 23rd through the 28th, we are going to be back east. We're going to be visiting Detailed Image. We're going to be visiting Detailer's Domain. We're going to be visiting Long Island Detail Supply. And we're going to be hosting an open house in Bedford Hills, New York at the Haggerty Garage and Social on that Saturday, the 27th. So if you're in that tri-state area of Connecticut, New Jersey, New York, maybe you're all the way down like where Luke is in Pennsylvania, or maybe you're in Boston, maybe around Massachusetts area, or somewhere nearby, and you just want to come say hi. We're going to have dates hitting the interwebs this week, so you can see exactly where we're going to be, at what time, and you can plan it out and come see us at any of those facilities.
Yes.
So super excited about it.
All right. So I guess other than that, though, we're back here. We're happy to be back. The trip was amazing. We're going to obviously talk about that here on the main show, do a little recap for everybody. But I think maybe we probably should jump into that. Do you think you want to start with
Levi's weekend?
Okay.
Give him a chance to kind of break it in there.
Yeah.
Start things off.
All right.
Okay.
So this weekend, we had Augie's birthday.
Oh, okay.
August Gordon
The
Geek.
Big Nine.
Big 9.
Wow.
Now, we had that happening this weekend. I had a detail this weekend. So, a lot of stuff going on. It was a hot weekend. First weekend in the 80s here in Boise.
Saw those from where we were.
So, Friday night, came home from work, headed home straight to grab the kids and Carly, and we went to, Augie had requested for dinner, Chick-fil-A.
Oh.
So, went to
Okay.
Chick-fil-A, had a delicious dinner. Ate our Chick-fil-A. Fun fact, Chick-fil-A is now hiring, you're allowed to start working there younger.
Huh.
Like
Do
14.
they get well, okay, that's when you can start to learn to
you
drive
can work
here.
you can work up to 8 hours. So let me just say, the children that are working at Chick-fil-A downtown,
Yeah.
it's a little shocking. it's a little surprising to go, oh, hi.
That's why they seem like kids.
Hello, sir.
They are kids. Yeah. Hi.
Yeah, no, it's great. So, but it was one of our old friends' kids.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. That was working. So we were like, we felt kind of surprised. He didn't recognize us, but we felt pretty honored that he was working and doing that stuff. So we told Hadley, hey, 2 more years, you could work here.
Yeah.
Get it started, maybe 8 hours. We told her how much money she could make. She was like, oh my God, I'm going to be so rich.
Stoked.
So good day. Then went home and then, we went to Target, got some stuff. Carly wanted to buy a pool.
Oh, really? Okay. Get the season started.
We've had those great above ground pools, the big ones, the inflatable ones. We've had a number of different pools.
I'm pretty sure you can go to the Boise dump and find Dane's old pool.
I have 2 dump pools. I have 2 pools in my truck bed trailer that have to go to the dump.
Oh, my.
So
patchwork.
I'm going to pass on the pool this year.
But
just saying.
Carly found that Target has those inflatable ones like what Katie had gotten.
Okay.
Remember when she wanted that pool on the side yard so she could soak in it? You put it near all your car parts?
Like an 8-foot round was what you had?
No, it wasn't round. It was rectangular.
It was rectangular. So that's what we bought, was a rectangular one.
Yeah.
So we picked that up. Because it was supposed to be so warm, Carly was like, this could be great for the weekend. It's cheap. It was like $35.
Oh, yeah.
It's like 10 by 6, Dane, rectangle, and like 24 inches deep. Perfect. It's the type of pool you want.
Yeah.
Put it out on your patio, put it on your deck, fill it up. You could go and soak in there after work like you've been wanting to do.
It's nice.
Yeah, you fill it up with some free irrigation water, right?
Exactly.
You shock it a little bit just to kill any of the...
Well, it's light enough. You can literally just dump the water back out.
And just hope it doesn't sit long enough for mosquitoes to form.
Well, that's why you dump it out and rinse it out.
Don't want that.
So, point is, we picked that up, and then squirt guns and water balloons. Right? Yeah. So we thought...
You guys are treating it like summer. I mean, it's only May. It's barely May.
It was like borderline 90 degrees.
It was 84, 86 degrees. Yeah. So that was the plan for Augie's birthday. Then Augie and I, on Thursday, went and picked out his cake. Oh. He told the kids, I want a rainbow cake. I want a beholder on the screen printed onto the cake.
Beholder?
I want crushed up Fruity Pebbles on the outside of the cake.
Oh.
I want all this stuff. So... Okay. Picked up the cake on Saturday morning. Picked up some ice cream, soda, all that stuff. Get it back to the shop or to the house, and 7 9-year-old boys all descend upon our facility.
Yeah.
And it is a water fight. It is jumping from the trampoline into this little pool. It is water balloons. We went through I probably made 150 water balloons.
Wow.
Sheesh.
They threw them everywhere, and it was crazy. So, good party. Augie had a bunch of buddies there. They were, using their water balloons for different things. And then when we got to, so that was Saturday. Saturday evening, I started on the interior of that truck. I had a Tundra. Thankfully, super clean inside. I literally just blew out some door pockets, steamed a couple, the speaker ports because they had some dirt in them, and that was about it. That car was spotless. Cleaned the driver's seat off, wiped everything down with Swift, called it good. Then when I did the outside on Sunday, woke up, washed the truck, tried to get it washed before it got too hot. The outside, I had to do some paint touch-up. He had left me a bottle of paint touch-up for him, so I did that. But the truck was really, really clean. So just did a quick Uno Advanced on it, dressed everything, pulled it out, let him know it was ready to go. Carly took the kids. So while I was finishing up the truck, Carly took the kids to the grocery store and bought a bunch of groceries at Winco. Now, for those of you that don't know Winco is a low-cost leader in groceries.
It is, yeah.
When you walk in the door, they put
employee-owned as well.
It's also employee-owned. Grocery store. It's also where Dane got a number of MoneyGrams to be able to, or money orders to buy a car.
Yeah.
So, went in. Carly was checking out. Augie he's always got some walking around money, right?
Yeah.
And
treat yourself to something nice.
Walked over, and he's like I've said, an acolyte of Lady Fortuna. And he walked up, put a couple bucks in the vending machines that they have there. Yeah. Games of chance.
Yeah. Chance and skill.
Some are claw machines.
Yeah.
Some are skill games, skill-based. Perhaps it's a dial. Maybe it's a wheel of fortune.
And it just kind of spins and it stops
Certain
somewhere.
things that you got to get it hit it, stop it.
Okay.
Right on the money.
Yeah.
So he puts a couple bucks in. Mm-hmm. Watches this wheel. The game is a wheel that turns slowly. Mm-hmm. You have to hit the button and you have to get it dead center on the prize to win the prize.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
If you are a millimeter off one way or the other, doesn't work. He does it 3 times. Third dollar he puts in, he gets it dead on.
No way.
Out pops a Nintendo Switch Lite.
Oh my God.
$200 gaming system.
A whole freaking Nintendo Switch.
Smokes.
What?
Cloud nine.
$3.
It's Cloud9 for a kid right there. That's
he was so excited.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so
on another
excited.
level.
And Alex Dwar is right. Winco is a fine established, plenty of liquid death and bulk nuts. That's the goal of it. I get my nuts there for the crows and ravens here.
That's nuts.
Great for training.
And liquid death, they're much cheaper than most places. So point is, Augie started screaming when he got that. Hadley started screaming.
Oh, I bet.
Both of my children apparently were screaming in the entrance of Winco Foods.
Yeah.
Carly goes, "Oh crap! Is someone
They've been
kidnapping the
abducted.
children?"
Yeah,
right.
they've
And she
been
looks
taken.
over and they're just jumping up and down.
Yeah.
They come running over, and go, "Oh my gosh, Augie just won this!" So can't believe. I'm super proud of him, but also we are a very non-gaming family.
Yeah, this is going to upset the balance, I think.
And it goes against a lot of stuff that we've set forth. And so I've spent the last 2 days learning everything I can about the online world of Nintendo.
Oh, boy.
So that I can prevent any unauthorized purchases.
You have aged yourself by saying that the online world of Nintendo.
It is. Yep. It's scary. It's really scary, especially because he used to take my tablet, my Amazon Fire tablet, and he just download games.
Yeah.
But he didn't realize that some you'd got charged, some you wouldn't.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden,
they'll just look the same to
the end of the week, I'd have to call text Amazon and go, I need these $30 worth of game charges reversed, or these $75 in game charges reversed, because he doesn't know the difference between something that's free and something that's not.
So you know what's beautiful about the Nintendo Switch? It also uses these things called cartridges, also small SD style cards, where he can buy the physical media, so you don't even have to link your card.
That's what I'm hoping.
You just say, "Hey, Augie, you save up $30, $40, $50, whatever it is. You can buy it, and that means you can have that little thing forever." And then you just put it in there, and then you call it good. Now, will he lose them? Probably. Will he be sad about it? Probably. But you know what? It's called life.
Yeah. That's just what it's going to be like. He's just going to we'll have to see what happens. But he's like, well, I need to go to a place to buy some games. And I go, where's your money? And he goes, well, I don't have any. I'm going to have to borrow some. Yeah. And I go, well, that sucks. Too bad.
You come back with interest.
You can build some me characters, because that's about all you can do on that without him. So it's a impressive thing that he won. It's something that I'm proud of him, but it's still one of those things. It was like, dang, I wasn't ready for that. So, but then Hadley had her own bit of good luck. Monday, she won the yearbook cover contest.
Oh, wow. That is great luck.
Which means she gets to, she drew and created the yearbook cover for this year's yearbook for school. And she saw it yesterday. They announced it, and they put it on a big poster board, the actual drawing, and they started it down from like 6th place, like 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st place. And the first place one was going to be the one. And so Hadley was like walking like, I don't see mine. She was checking. And then when she saw hers was 1st place, and it was the one that was going to be it, she literally said to Carly, like, I feel like I'm going to cry.
Oh.
She was so happy. So super proud of her for that. And proud of Augie for not giving up. But he had a great 9th birthday. Now, Dane, to go back to his cake.
Yeah.
Let me paint the picture of what this cake was.
So you said a beholder. I'm not familiar
Custom
with what a beholder
Albertsons
is.
cake. Apparently they cost $30.
You do.
For a round 9-inch cake.
I believe that, by the way.
Possibly, yeah.
Ogie.
So
Ogie the bear.
So this cake,
bear.
rainbow cake on the inside.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Full rainbow styling. Cut the cake. Pull that slice out. Cream cheese. center.
Oh, I don't like that.
Ooh, yes.
That's what he picked.
Cream
then he
cheese?
picked cream cheese.
I'm sorry.
Philadelphia, that's disgusting.
Not
No,
Philadelphia
like
cream
cheesecake
cheese,
cream cheese.
Like no, not cheesecake cream cheese.
No.
Like cream cheese frosting.
Yeah.
Like on a
It's good
cinnamon
stuff.
roll.
You say frosting.
But it's cream cheese. That's the actual frosting. So
Cream cheese frosting.
So that was in the inner middle part.
Yeah.
Then he did white buttercream as the exterior frosting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then the edges of the cake, like the whole edge of the cake, was rolled in crushed fruity pebbles.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So you had another rainbow granular effect.
Right.
On the top, silk screen printed with vegetable dye, Dungeons and Dragons
Wow.
beholder.
So technically,
So
this
a
thing had
giant
vegetables on it.
Eye with teeth, and then tentacles with other eyeballs.
Oh
Kinda
my.
terrifying though.
A very scary. It's quite possibly one of the hardest creatures to fight in Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Guillermo creation.
And then it says "Happy Birthday, Augie" on it.
man.
But that was all him. He's like, "I want this. I want that. I want this."
all the things.
It was a perfect cake, but all his buddies were like, "Yeah, that's a pretty tough cake, dude. Especially it's got this monster on the front of it." So anyway, pretty great for him. He was pretty stoked about
Usually
it. Delicious cake. I mean, really good.
Kids have a tendency to like, I want that and that and that, and they throw it all together, and it ends up being disgusting.
Yeah, no, it was
This
good.
somehow avoided that.
Oh, it was
trap.
amazing.
That's
it was
impressive.
amazing. So really good. Super fun though. Great weekend. It was warm. Had to turn on the AC at the MOSHQ
Whoa.
this weekend. Had to turn on
Okay.
the AC in the house because the house got up to like 80 degrees all of
Yeah,
a sudden. I mean,
surprising.
it was hot.
Yeah.
So, but it was good. Customer picked up his truck on Monday morning. Loved it. Thought it looked great. Was very excited. And then wants to schedule his Audi next. And if his Audi's like his Tundra, I'm very excited to do it.
Yeah.
But all in all, a simple, easy, nice weekend.
Yeah.
Like I said, big birthday weekend, so it was fun to get that done, and we had a good time. So
Yeah.
that was
No,
it.
that's
Oh,
great.
I forgot to say, we unlocked something. Carly and I can now go on walks at night because our children do not need to be watched by us.
What
anymore.
changed?
I don't know. We just said we're going on a walk, and they said, all right.
They
the
just
house
stay there.
was not on fire when
The
you
house
came
was
back.
not on fire. The
The
kids
couch still had the same number of
they
holes
were
in it as
sound
before.
asleep. It was crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Wow.
I feel like Anthony, you'll know this, parental achievement.
Yes. Yeah.
Finally unlocked, ready to
Yeah.
rock and roll. Feel good about yourself. You're like, oh, well, this is quite nice. It's like the first time your kid feeds themselves.
You're
Like
wow,
you're used to feeding
job
them,
done.
and then you give them food, and they're like, yeah, thanks. And you're like, I don't have to help you with that. That's cool. Or they get a
nice.
drink for themselves,
Yeah.
or they go to the bathroom by themselves.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, there's all these little things. So this is a new one. We're like, well, I can leave the house in the middle of the night,
And it's okay.
and it's okay. All right, cool. So anyway, good weekend. Again, thank you everybody for tuning in for Thursday's Q&A. Really appreciate it. That was awesome. And then, all right. So tell me about the Big Apple of Chicago. I mean, the Windy City.
The big
Windy.
the big windy.
Oh man, where do we even begin? So, gosh, I guess our week started on Wednesday morning, right?
4 a.m.
At 4 a.m. Right when we had to go meet at the airport. God, it was early, man. And so me, Dane, and Jimmy Wilkie headed. We're basically on our way to Chicago. It was just the three of us, kind of a skeleton crew, but I think pretty much
Pared down.
You know, I mean, it worked, right? We had everything that we needed. Jimmy was
Yeah.
going to be doing most of the media. Dane was going to be, interacting with some fans and friends live streaming and doing that. And then myself, I was going to do my best to
were
try
the
to
host, man.
remember people's names and try to host most of this stuff. So the flight there was pretty nice. It was a quick, basically, we had a pit stop in Seattle, so we had to go to Seattle. Then we went all the way over to
You go the wrong
O'Hare.
way before you can go the right way.
And yeah, nothing crazy happened. I mean, we got on the flight, but one thing that would annoyed me and Jimmy a little bit is, so this flight, we got first class, right? Pretty fancy, right?
Jimmy's first time, right?
We don't
class.
normally get
He's
first
spoiled
class,
now.
but somehow the
there were enough
moons
points
aligned.
saved up, I think, was the rare occasion where that happens. Like, oh boy.
So, but it was just funny because me and Jimmy were like, I'm like telling Jimmy, like, hey, first class is pretty awesome. You get some free drinks, you get a little bit of food. We're going to get a breakfast here.
Dane's
and
going to enjoy a coffee and vodka in the morning.
Coffee and vodka, whatever you want, right? You kind of get all these things. And it was the funniest thing because Dane goes and finds a seat, and we're walking to our seats, and the flight attendant says, "Hey, actually." Right. We have a small issue here up front with these seats and these
right up against
like an older couple.
These customers here. Can we just switch you with them? And I'm like, oh yeah, I mean, I guess, right? I don't know. What am I going to say? No.
It's the first row.
So the first row.
You guys were second row.
So we were the second row, so we had to swap them with the first row. So we did it. Little did we know that the first row, the leg room there was nothing. It was compared to a normal first class
It's
seat.
weird because I would expect it to be more, usually.
No, in this case, it was less leg room. So we lost all of our leg room for that flight. And Jimmy's like...
you guys are both Jack Reacher-sized gentlemen.
Yeah, well, me and Jimmy were like, I'm like, dang, dude, sorry. Normally we have more leg room than that. Yeah. Technically, I think even like the Comfort Plus has more leg room than this. And
so I got to interject real quick.
Yeah.
In the audiobook I'm currently listening to, the Jack Reacher, called "Make Me."
Yeah,
the name of the book.
I should have said that to the flight attendant.
He was talking to the gal that he's with, going on this adventure, and he said, "So if we're getting plane tickets, what are we flying?" And she goes, "Well, we'll probably just fly normal." And he goes, "If we're flying normal, I like the exit row for the leg room. Otherwise, I say we just splurge and do the first class."
Wow.
And I thought that's a reckless way to spend money. Yeah. To always just be a first class
because of the
flight because of the size of him. But exit row, very generous.
Yeah. Yes.
So I thought that was very nice. You guys, you could understand
Isn't that
the pain
Dylan Kleiss move
Jack
always?
Reacher goes through as well.
Well, anyway, so we offered that up, and so our flight was, I don't want to say uncomfortable. That'd be
just tighter than you thought it would be.
Just a lot tighter. Like there was no, you know how you can put a backpack in front of you? There was no room for a backpack, and then underneath the seat, there wasn't a particular large amount of room there underneath the seat as well. So we just kind of dealt with it. But anyway, we flew into O'Hare. I hate that airport. What a crappy airport. That airport sucks, man. It literally...
Think of all the reasons Anthony would be upset about a place, and
there's nothing good about the Chicago airport at all whatsoever. It's really old, first off, and I'm not saying that in a bad way, but, well, I mean, it hasn't been updated in quite some time, but they are updating it, and that's part of the problem. Half the airport is under construction.
It's not Newark bad.
I don't know, Dane.
Newark is the worst.
I'm kind of leaning towards Newark over O'Hare, right?
No.
And the other thing I noticed, right? The bathroom stalls, right?
Here we go.
The latches are barely hanging on. There is so much play in those latches, and the gap
Well, you
space.
don't want people getting a view of you when you're doing your business.
You do get a view of them. You have an inch gap space on every single bathroom stall, right?
Might as well just not have doors.
I was walking through just to blow my nose, right? So I was like, they don't have toilet paper. They don't have the blow dryers. I'm like, I gotta go to the stall and grab toilet paper. As I'm walking through,
you saw everybody doing their business.
Walking by, I saw the full person, right? It wasn't like part of a hat. I was like looking over and like I wasn't trying to. I was just trying to find an empty stall, and I go, well, I can just see everybody in it, so I can find which stalls are empty.
Someone just needs a classic newspaper to like hold up and pretend to read.
Anyway, the gap space was incredibly bad. So that's one part of the thing. So after that, we went to the hotel, and it was pretty cool because we had Jesus pick us up. He works over at Car Supplies Warehouse. And Jesus is an awesome guy, super cool, talkative, and he picked us up in a pretty... Well, so I was waiting for it, Joe. I was waiting for them to lock eyes with me because I don't know, there would have been like a moment there. But we went to... he picked us up in essentially a new black Suburban, and Jesus was joking around saying that this event was kind of funny because Eric was like, hey, we want to have these not Ubers, but we want to have these rental cars, but we want them to look like, pretty
presidential
cool.
Limo
We want to look
style.
Presidential, situation.
You're gonna be in a motorcade.
So they did. They got 3 brand new, Chevy Suburbans, and it was just kind of cool because it just ended up working out to where they were all black. And so from there, dropped us off at the hotel. So we stayed at the Hilton.
Yeah.
Garden Suites?
It was,
Garden
Inn.
Garden Inn? Is that what it was?
So it wasn't Home to Suites, but there was a Home to Suites in like visual
pretty close.
Proximity to ours. So there were several Hiltons in a row, actually.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
And so we got to the hotel, and we were able to kind of unwind a little bit, go and check things out. To my surprise, hotel rooms were quite nice. We did have a small little kitchenette there. Not a kitchen because we didn't have the sink, but we did have a microwave and a refrigerator, so I thought that was quite nice.
And you get a Keurig.
And we got a Keurig and all that.
Yeah.
And from there, it was kind of nice because we flew in. We got in at like 4 p.m. or something like that. And we pretty much said, all right, well, we're going to relax for a few hours, kick back, which normally we're not able to do on trips, right?
Yeah,
it's normally we drop our stuff off and then we're going to the next thing.
Because we show up on the day of something.
But that night was going to be it's kind of like an open house. Or open house.
It's a pre-show meet and greet. It's for all the creators to meet each other. It's for the vendors to kind of like get familiar with each other again. And it was in a different location than what we did later in the week.
It was at the Bays
older Bays location.
The older Bays location.
Okay.
And which was about a 30-40 minute drive. But anyways, during that downtime that we had there at the hotel, it was actually quite nice. We started looking on Google to try to find places to eat because we were hungry for lunch. We didn't have anything. Yeah. And we started doing some research there. And to our surprise, right? Chicago has a lot of health code violations with...
there were a lot of angry reviews about people getting
with
sick.
A lot of their restaurants, right? And so we're like... There was like, I don't know what it... There was a couple different places that were really close to us.
You were looking at like mainstream fast food too, and even those were like don't go
2 to 2.5 stars on Google, right?
Struggle to get a 3.
And I'm like, Dane, maybe they're overreacting, and it's like food poisoning. You're like, I'm going on a list. I go,
before a show,
unsanitary.
And those were recent reviews. Those weren't like, from 2 years ago.
There was hair in my food. And I'm like, man, this is disgusting, right?
Cool.
So I'm like, maybe we shouldn't do that. And we started looking a bit, because we don't have a car, right? We have to walk anywhere that we're going. And the funniest thing was that there was this place called Goat and Vine, right? And
was
we
it
go
Goat plus Vine or Goat and Vine?
I think it was Goat and Vine or Goat plus, something like that.
Okay.
And it was kind of around the corner from us on the other side of this hotel. And we look and we see 4.4 star reviews, right?
It was the only thing
that's
was
high.
Closest by, because Anthony tried walking somewhere else, a gas station, and by the time he got out there, he goes, "My eyes deceive me. I can't believe how far I had to walk to get here."
Yeah. Also, they apparently don't have crosswalks.
No crosswalks.
Is crosswalks are
like
not
painted?
No, like literally when you get to the stoplight, there's no crosswalk at the stoplight.
That's what I mean, painted.
You're right. Yeah, it's not
painted with also no.
But there's no curb that
nothing.
gently goes down for somebody for like wheelchair access or anything either.
Yeah,
so it was just you play Frogger. That's all you get.
Okay, all right.
Dangerous game.
Yeah, kind of the location for the hotels is not a bad location. Actually, makes a lot of sense where it is. But like in terms of convenience for things, maybe there's not as much maybe as downtown at the Honda Suites in Boise, Idaho, right? Just down the street from Chip Cookie, Bardnay, lots of other great places to eat,
options.
a lot of gas stations,
and safer options.
Of course, the Trader Joe's, right? You can't forget about that.
No.
But no, so we went to the Goat and Vine place. So I guess back to that and. We walk up to this building, and it was so funny because we look at it and we go, was this like an old hotel?
It looks like a reformed hotel.
It looks like an old hotel, but we're also like, it kind of looks like a Mexican restaurant, right?
It looks like it was painted in the last 2 years. It looked very recently
But it
redone.
says that it's a winery, like a wine tasting place and restaurant. And so
we just know there's supposed to be food.
First thought was this is probably going to be expensive, right?
Yeah.
But with all the money we might save on everything else, right? Probably not a bad option. To our surprise, again, we walked in there. We were greeted very nicely. We went and sat down, and we had an amazing lunch. I mean, it was awesome, man. Like, I love it because the bartender, she's just dropping F-bombs, just
she
casually.
Was hilarious.
She's talking about her life and
within
her
earshot of all the customers, and nobody cared. It was that was just an understood thing. It's like. It's just the way it is here, and everybody's cool with it.
She was talking about like her baby daddy's new girlfriend and all sorts of these other things. I'm like, this is crazy, right?
Just like gossip.
We get food and a show, right?
Yeah.
Typically, you have to pay more for that, right?
That was like that time when we went to that Friendly's in
but this was a much
that was. Like we were in the middle of nowhere on the East Coast, and those people were quitting,
firing people.
Were firing people while we were sitting there
man.
eating.
That was dark.
Delicious ice cream. People were getting fired.
This was happier.
Yeah.
Happier than Friendly's. This was actually seemingly friendly, just like hey, you schmuck, but slightly more colorful.
I love that.
language.
It was great Chicago accent.
Yeah, that wasn't an accent. Anyway,
so but it was just funny because like she's telling other stories to these other people. They don't care at all. They don't give a crap, right? Everybody's just telling these crazy wild stories, and we're sitting there. And they gave us, we got some of these delicious wine mixer drinks, whatever the heck they were.
Good.
Jimmy got a drink. We got food. So it was the funniest thing because it was like a classy experience with the food, with kind of like this not so classy experience with like the bartenders, but it balanced out, right? And it made it way more fun. Needless to say, they got a really good tip because we had a good time there, and we said we would come back. We weren't able to come back, unfortunately.
I'm really disappointed we didn't get a go back. But timing didn't allow
that.
for
That bartender who was helping us, she was waiting for us, I know, because she had fun with us as well.
She was hilarious.
So, anyway, so that was the night that we went to the kind of pre-meet there at this other Bay's location. Yeah. It's about a 30-40 minute drive. What was cool, there was a small car meet, right? A couple cars that were there.
You thought a car was running rough? Like you're just like, and you're like, what is that sound? You're looking around for the car, and I look up at the roof and I see this insane propeller-looking air conditioner box vent thing spewing steam and just this big blade spinning around.
I didn't know if it was a crematory or something like that. It looked
like it was about to explode. It was just shaking like crazy. And there were 3 of them on the roof, and they're all doing the same thing. And we're like, has it just been like that the whole time?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
no, it was exciting, but fun, different things.
A couple cool cars made it out, right? David Patterson drove his car 2 hours, right? His S2000.
We finally saw it
on
in person.
Those Chicago roads. And respect, man, because those things are rough. You think that we might have a bad pothole here? You haven't seen anything. You haven't seen
the road buckles. They have like jumps in the freeway.
It's not just
car
that.
On air ride? Did he trailer it or he drove?
No, he drove it.
Wow.
He drove. It's on. I think it's on. I don't think it's on coilovers. I mean.
I think he said it's on coils.
A bunch of people
so
drove
it's
their
static,
stuff.
but he can adjust it a little bit.
But what's interesting is that there's normal potholes and whatnot. What they have there in the Chicago area in the parking lots, you know how there's grates? There's like a dip in a parking lot with like a grate that's like sitting there for drainage, right? Maybe there's some concrete poured around that grated area.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny is that grate in some situations is 2 feet lower than the actual concrete. So dude, when I say like 2 feet, I mean
like
there's nothing there,
it's
right?
Like a curb in the road.
So I'm like, that is a car destroying drop right there, and they're all over the place. But the pre-meet was awesome, right? They had Portellos that they brought, right? It's my first time ever having this Chicago dog style, along with these little Italian meat sandwiches, whatever they are. Amazing. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal.
Wonderful. For how simple they looked.
Yeah, I mean, like mind-blowingly good. Like they have like juice, like the meat's really wet, right? But then you put it on the bread. And the wetness is good for that. It moistens up the bread, and
absorbs
you can eat it.
Yeah.
And you throw on like this little pepper mix, so like this little kind of pepper mix on top of it, and you just eat it, and it is heavenly. It is very, very good. So the whole Bay situation, I mean, beautiful. I mean, they have spots for detailing, washing your car, doing everything that you want to do. Everything's outfitted with really nice pressure washers. They have ego blowers. They have pretty much everything that you would want, right, at your fingertips for being able to go rent out that space and detail your car on your own. It's like $24 an hour. Phenomenal, good vibes. That's air, temperature controlled in there. And you know what I gotta say, man?
So for $24, you get water and air.
Yep, and access to all the tools.
And you get access to the tools.
Yeah. It's
you
whatever.
Bring your own products, or
you bring your own,
and you can buy your.
Or you can buy your products, or bring your own products, whatever you want to do. And they have buckets there. All you gotta do is bring your wash mitt, drying towel, a little bit of soap, wheel cleaner, brushes, and you're good to go.
Or buy them on the spot, your choice.
Pretty crazy, right? So it's a really smart idea. But I gotta say, man, the bathrooms. Was not expecting them to be so nice.
Got tight gaps.
No, it's not even
installed.
No, it's not even these
well,
bathrooms.
I'm just saying because you just spent like 20 minutes talking about
you didn't go to the first Bay's bathrooms.
Oh, I didn't go to the one at the party, the pre-show party. Being that it's a different location, you're right.
How you could have not gone.
Well, Dane's in editing mode.
I was in editing mode. I had a job to do. I was wheeling. I was dealing. I was saying hi to everybody, and I was doing lives.
No, I like literally scoped out everything, right? I walked into those bathrooms, right? I was greeted by there's Febreze air fresheners inside there. They have tons of toilet paper. Everything's stocked, and it's tiled, right? It's absolutely amazing. Great place to sit and hang out, right? No matter what you want to do.
Right.
Now, I
didn't drop-down desks or anything in the...
No, nothing there. But I didn't spend too much time in there because there was literally like 100 people outside those doors.
It was pretty busy.
I was like, we got to go around. So me and Dane did some live interviews on Instagram, went around, said hi to everybody. Pan, the organizer, was there. I mean, all the other, I don't know. I mean, everybody was there. I mean, Rennie was there. Bob was there. Sydney was there. There was, Gian was there. Gian was there. And I don't know. It was
everybody. G-Technic.
G-Technic.
Beasley,
but
we had all those
technically,
guys.
it was kind of like a G-Technic kind of pre-party. That's how they were theming
This was
it
a G-Technic
because of
event.
the launch of XOV5, right? So they wanted to pull people in, do giveaways, do live demonstrations, everything like that. And so after eating and meeting and greeting, they did their giveaway where I got to pull the tickets, right?
Nice.
Got to choose some lucky winners of some G-Technic products, right?
Made
Everything
some
from
announcements.
the bags to a glass coating kit, a wheel cleaning kit, and all these other cool things.
Nice.
And people were pretty stoked. So we were there for a little bit of time, and towards the end, right, they started saying, all right, people are kind of starting to phase out. We need to start packing up. And I go up to, I don't even know who I went up to. I think I went up to somebody, and I said, so what's the deal with the food? And they go... yeah, we may have probably ordered a little bit too much. And I go, well, yeah, I mean, but like, what are you guys going to do with it? And they're like, I don't know. I mean, hopefully people take some stuff.
Glizzy damage control.
And I'm looking, and they have a vat of glizzies, right? It's a whole thing of hot dogs.
Yeah.
And then not just that, a whole vat of these Italian sandwiches, these little meat sandwiches. And so I said, well, so nobody's going to take them? Well, you could take him, Anthony. And I'm like looking around. I'm
It's
like
like a rescue service.
and everybody's like still trying to like talk to me and say, hey, Anthony, a quick question, talk to me like that. And my mind's is no longer on customer service. It is no longer on being friendly. It is on saving these glizzies and these meat sandwiches.
From an
right?
unfortunate fate.
Yeah, you're thinking I could provide a good home for them.
Yeah. And not only that,
It's
there's a whole cooler of sodas and everything, right? And I'm like, so I went up to Jesus and I said, hey, man, is it going to look maybe not classy if I start taking a bunch of these? Because I'm thinking ahead. I have a microwave at my hotel, right? I can heat up any one of these things here.
You got a fridge.
I got a refrigerator. I just need to make it
You
back.
have all the
A
amenities.
couple sodas,
So-
a couple glizzies.
He was like, dude, go grab one of those bags over there and start loading up. So while everybody's still talking and being, having good conversations and being classy and stuff like that, I'm over in the corner grabbing these sandwiches and like shoving them into my bag there, right, with the glizzies and the hot dogs and the drinks, and everybody's looking at me kind of like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Are you starving? And I'm
Yeah.
just like, it's gonna hit me at 11 p.m.
Yeah,
There's
you're gonna
gonna be a
hungry.
real hunger that hits me, right? And I'm thinking ahead. Other people thought I was smart. Some people thought maybe,
a great
hey,
idea.
Anthony's kind of strange. I didn't even care, man. Dude, I'm about to gobble all these glizzies. I'm about to gobble all these sandwiches. I threw them in the bag.
Very nice.
And before you know it, we were on our way out. So that night, me and Jimmy worked out at the gym, right? Got to show him the ropes, right?
Nice.
I got to pull out the big guns. We
Right.
went out there and, really put up some big weight. I think
Nice.
that the dumbbells went to a max of 50 pounds.
Whoa.
And and the cable machines were missing most of the hardware to be able to make them what I would deem safe. But me and Jimmy did a little bit of chest, right? And
Nice.
it felt nice, right, to get a good workout in after eating all that food.
And what did you do afterwards? You went back to your hotel room and
Ate some more
we all
hot
kind of
dogs.
like decompressed. And as I'm sitting there working on the laptop, I look up to see Anthony reaching into his backpack and pulling out wrapped hot dogs. just super plain, simple little hot dogs. And I'm like, it goes, yep. And then he just puts it into the microwave. And,
Nice. At Dane's room.
Sets it off. No, this isn't their room.
No,
I was
okay.
visiting
Yeah,
them.
all right.
So I had these sandwiches on deck. I had the hot dogs on
Nice.
deck, and said sorry I didn't grab any of the condiments,
Yeah.
right? So we were just eating them raw,
That.
right?
A full sack of greasy glizzy.
Dude, I was pumped on them. I was so excited. And the next day was the actual main day of content creation. So people might be confused of how the whole thing worked. Basically, how it all went down is that Chicago Auto Pros, or AKA Car Supplies Warehouse, what they did is they communicated with a lot of these influencers who make detailing content on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. They said, hey, we want to bring you out for an event where you're going to be able to meet the vendors one-on-one with your chance to create some content for your channels, right? This is a great experience for you guys because not only do you get to create some amazing content, but you're also going to be able to meet the people, learn more about the products, and it's kind of like a good give and take situation, right?
Carly.
Yeah. And so as far as the vendors, though, like us being a vendor and going out, what we benefit from it is, yes, we get the content creation side of things, but we also get to educate and we also get to see our products being used within these people's videos, right? So The creators were flown out, I believe, like for free. They get to be flown out, and then they were also their hotel was for free as well, right? And so we had to pay, I think, a very small fee just to be able to get into the mix of things. But yeah, nothing unreasonable for what we were able to get out of it.
Yeah.
So going to this was kind of crazy because the opening morning, it's most of the people that we've either met or seen before in videos. And it's kind of surreal, right? Because you're seeing like, oh, hey, there is maybe Miranda Auto Detailing. Maybe there's Apex Detailing. There's Rick from Rad Garage. There's Pan the Organizer there, right? There is Jessica Tran from TikTok. There's all these different people that are gathered around, eating donuts, drinking coffee, and kind of talking about their day. So this event was very well planned. Eric Joseph was making pour-over coffee. That was his job.
Yeah, that
was his job for 2 days.
That's what he said.
Was to be a barista.
He said, I'm going to be making coffee. I said,
and
wow, good
so,
for you.
And he was a pro at it.
What was he calling it? The otterness something? Something otterness.
Yeah.
A hot otterness. A creamy otterness is what he was calling it.
He had a few names.
He was making it. Jamie might be able to correct me. There's a particular drink
Help
he
us
was
out,
making
Jamie.
for everybody. An iced otterness maybe is what it was.
Iced otterness may have been it.
I think that may have been it. But everybody had their jobs, right? But what was cool is they had a schedule built out. So basically, there's no real wrangling of people, right? You have your content creators meeting up with your vendors with just a set time and a set plan of what they're going to create, right? It may be like, hey, we're going to do a towel video, we're going to do a coating video, we're going to do a sealant video, an interior cleaning video, everything like that. And I think the most impressive thing was that when we got there, not only did they have a variety of delicious donuts, meats, cheeses. Okay, maybe there wasn't meats and cheeses, but there was fruits and there was all sorts of other things. They had fridges filled to the brim.
Full-size fridges, not mini fridges.
With every beverage you could possibly want. One fridge was dedicated to beer, which I was like, this is amazing,
It's
right?
a little early.
Modelo's, Coors, wine coolers, quite literally everything.
Yeah.
The other fridge, Monster Energy drinks, Red Bulls. They had
Sugar-free options of everything.
They had Cokes, they had sparkling waters, they had literally everything. And when I say filled, I mean they're the
stacked
full
deep.
depth
There wasn't any room
of
left.
everything. I've never seen that
Including
many.
the veggie trays at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was insane. So they had all this stuff laid out, and that's when the content creation started. So I mean, we met up with several different people to make videos on, and it was kind of like a well-oiled machine for something that's never been done before, right? Jason hosted a little kind of talk in the morning saying, hey, this is the goal. This is where content creation is in 2023, talking about stuff like that. And from there, people just took it and ran with it, right? They provided lunch for us in between, which I believe was more meat sandwiches. I love those Italian meat sandwiches, right?
So, wow. Yeah, you were just
man.
going to town on them.
Now, they did bring chocolate cake, right? The Portello's chocolate cake, which apparently is like a famous chocolate cake.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I didn't have one bite of it, and I regret that.
I kept hearing stories about how good it was.
People were talking about what
I would have loved to report on it.
People are talking about what they do with these cakes. They go,
Yeah.
they're so moist and they feel so good, and all these other different things. And I'm like, I don't know what you guys are talking about, and I just didn't get a chance to. I was trying to watch kind of a little
I
bit.
actively avoided it.
Of course.
thinking
Well, you
we're
just
having
filled your
dinner
belly
tonight
with
and
Italian
stuff.
meat
Yeah.
sandwiches and glizzies.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you just,
From 11:30 p.m.
They ship?
to the early morning.
sometimes it's just best just to play
Okay.
it safe when you're on the road, right?
Apparently Fred says they ship.
Feels like you weren't. But
Now, the other thing too was pretty impressive was, I mean, their storefront. Oh my
Yeah,
God, it's
their
beautiful.
storefront
They're
is
beautiful.
fantastic.
I absolutely love it because not only is it wonderfully laid out, the lighting, the products, and all of that, and then they have Kim, who she works the front desk there, right? She's very knowledgeable with products, and she actually helps all the scheduling
Super
of getting
helpful.
people into the bays because this other car supplies location warehouse that we're at, the main one, right, is a combination of a storefront and 3 wash bays, right? 3
Nice.
fully enclosed wash bays that you can go and do everything that you'd want to do, the same as the other place. The offices upstairs were amazing. They provided a spot for people to podcast, right? So for anybody that wanted a podcast, they would go upstairs, and there was full podcast studios up there that
Nice.
people can go and do that.
And it wasn't like an open loft. It actually had windows and walls and stuff, so the sound was nicely isolated.
nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So But the first day, I mean, we shot several different videos. Me and Jessica Tran went into the laundry room. That wasn't technically a set that was supposed to be used, but you know what? They made that happen. And so we were able to jump in there and use that. And then I'm trying to think who else we shot videos with. We shot videos with Carlos.
Yes.
And
Carlos is great, by the way. Never met him before, but what a nice guy.
Very nice,
really
man.
love
He's
that guy.
super cool. And I got to teach him how to do an absolute rinseless wash.
He's never done one before.
Wow.
First time learning, and he was mind blown at the results there. And anyway, that was the whole point of that day, was content creation, get it done, and I don't know. It was just an awesome time. Everybody was so friendly. The staff from Car Supplies was so welcoming. And the coolest part was that, let's just say I was drinking a coffee, right? And I'm like, I'm pretty much done with this. I'm going to set my cup down really here for a quick second, right? Within 1 second, somebody would come up and grab the cup and say, "Are you done with this, sir?" And I would say, "Yes, I am done with that." "Cool, thank you." They clean that, wipe the area that I just set the cup down, and then they were gone.
Attendants were insanely on it, just on point.
They were like ghosts, right? That would appear to do a quick cleanup, and then they would be gone. And you'd be like, what is happening here?
It's like if we had hired packers during TRC to come around, pick up sodas, wipe up garbage, food, trash, things like that.
Yeah.
Whatever the case was,
ready.
I dropped a
everybody
piece
who
of my
was
donut on the ground, right? A guy did a
exceptionally-
baseball slide, right? Like he was sliding to home base, right?
Yeah.
Grabbed that piece of the donut, right? He was up and
He rolled
and
back
then,
onto his back.
and then
when
he
did that.
parkoured up this ladder and disappeared. I go, what is happening here, right? So many talented people.
They're like the wraiths, and
Yeah.
they'll be shadowed. What we do in the shadows.
Exactly what it was.
Materialize.
After that first day, though, we actually went out and had a fantastic dinner at Fat Rosie's,
What's
which,
this?
based on the name of that place and the signage, right, like the logo, wasn't expecting much. I go, "Where are we going?" They're like, "Fat Rosie's, an amazing Mexican place." I go, "I don't know about this, guys." And I saw the outside sign.
Well,
I
yeah,
go,
you say we're from Idaho, the land of Mexican food.
It's
Why would we
pretty
go to
good.
Chicago?
The land of El Faro is
Right, yeah.
one of our favorite spots here. But
Idaho invented Mexican food. I don't know if
it
people
was
know that.
okay. What was it called?
Well, why is it
the
not called
town that we
Idaho?
went to for Fat Rosie's. It was called somethingville.
Romeoville.
Romeoville or Naperville is where we went,
Naperville,
yeah.
but somebody called it Perfectville because apparently it's just very nice or something
Okay.
like
It was
that.
kind of like Eagle.
It was kind of like Eagle, right? Eagle, Idaho. But I knew that this Mexican food restaurant experience was going to be a little bit higher class when we saw there was valet service when we pulled up, right? There's a guy valeting cars.
Well, because good luck finding a space.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So I just drove us up to the valet stand.
But
Did
we
you tell
went.
him I'm here for some valeting?
Hey, are you one
here
of
to
those
be
famous
valeted.
Yeah.
valairs?
And we went inside there, and it's a full tequila bar and Mexican food joint type of thing. And we sat down and we had family style Mexican food. It was amazing. They served us fishbowl margaritas. So me and Dane had a couple of those. I had
Quite
myself
large.
a Corona Rita, right? Which they got the bottle in there. I was the only person that got that. So people were kind of looking like who's
They
the
were looking
hardcore
to see
drinker?
who's the
reward
hardcore
that.
drinker here? And I'm like, please don't judge me, right?
No.
I've had a long day. And delicious food. It was absolutely awesome. And then after that, I think it was pretty much a night. Now, what was hilarious, though, is almost every opportunity that we had, there was always somebody fun riding in the car with us on the way to wherever we were going,
yeah.
right? So
Great opportunities every
Jamie
time.
the cleaner got to witness firsthand.
He had a podcast moment with us.
Jamie the cleaner got to witness firsthand Dane's antics whenever he gets into a vehicle and has to make his
Dane
own
had to
adjustments.
drive it?
Yeah, so Dane was able to drive
They
it.
just
for
handed
one
me
night.
the keys and they're like, here you go. You're going to take us on. All
So
right.
Dane sits in the car and he goes, "Oop, I just need to adjust my seat." He goes, "Oh, steering wheel, telescoping steering
The
wheel."
last driver was
and
a
then
whole
he
foot
goes,
taller than me.
"Oh, mirrors." He goes, "Got my mirrors, right?" And then he goes, "Oh, seatbelt right here. Okay, and where is this button right here?" And I'm like, "Dane, go."
No,
Dane,
the part that
drive the
caught me
car.
off guard, here's the thing. The transmission, the new
full
automatic
Dane.
transmissions in the new Chevy trucks, it's the weirdest gear selector I've seen yet. Rotary dial, I can figure that out. Push button, I can figure that out. Stick, most common, figure that out. This looked like a push button, but you pull the little tabs towards you. It's the weirdest, dumbest. I hate it so much. I didn't know it was a thing, but now I hate it.
Yeah.
I just hate it.
Yeah. Anyway, well, watching him do this, it was destroying me, right?
Yeah, right.
Because it's like, all right,
Destroys
Dane,
all of
go,
us.
because the cars are leaving. Go, you got to follow
Yeah.
them. Dane, drive faster, right? And Jamie, and
Yes, Joey, it's true.
it's exactly that, right? You're trying to be like, okay,
video
let's get
game
to the good
cutscene
part
that
now.
you can't
And
skip.
Jamie's just in the back dying laughing, just kind of like, oh my God, like this is
real.
actual real.
You guys
like,
actually are
Because
telling the truth.
realistically, we're not in a rush.
We
to get
are.
anywhere.
We always are in a rush to get somewhere.
Why are you guys so hurried? Why does everybody has to rush?
Because you
If
start the
day-
car,
the
you
day
put it
is
in reverse.
over.
As you're backing up, you grab your seatbelt, you put it on.
You've had your
You
dinner.
start driving. Once you get on the road, then you adjust
Kind
the
of hard
mirrors.
to
'cause now
drive
you
when
can
I can't
see.
even reach the pedals. That's how far they were, man.
So anyway,
And I'm in an unfamiliar town. I want to make sure I can see my blind spots.
we are in a foreign place.
in a suburban, might I add. So it's the biggest vehicle I could be driving at that time.
I love
So
it. I
watching
love
him
it.
do all the adjustments is
Yes.
just absolutely hilarious.
Very
and then
necessary.
So
by the
you're
time-
able to catch up to the motorcade.
Well, by the time the adjustments are done, he's usually like, okay, well, what should we turn on for music? And I go, drive the freaking car, Dane. Drive the car. Go faster. So anyway, on the way home, me, Dane, and Jamie,
Bryce,
and
like,
we
don't rush.
took a wrong turn, right? Which was
No, it was not a
hilarious.
wrong turn. Waze said to go that way.
Waze said to go that way. I've never driven down what seemed to be a more haunted road in my entire life.
We were
right?
on a normal road, and then it says turn right here, and I'm like, okay. And then you guys are like, wait, but the road goes that way, and I'm like, it's saying to go this way. Waze must know a faster way to go. So as I turn, the headlights just kind of guide over this way, and suddenly we're pointing down like full-on
Skid Row.
Sleepy Hollow, creepy.
So
ass
the headlights
road.
were on, but you wouldn't even have known because it was so pitch black, and you're like, I
And
can't
everybody
see
in the car
anything.
is laughing maniacally because they're all secretly terrified.
Yeah, like it's the type of road you would go down, and you're gonna see that little girl standing in the middle of the road with her head down. With dark
It totally
hair,
looked like
right?
the kind of road where that would happen.
And I go, cool. So this is where we die,
Yeah.
right? In Chicago, right? I thought it would be.
Now, why
maybe-
weren't you with the motorcade at that moment? How did they
Because of the
miss-
adjusting of the mirrors.
Oh,
The point was, it wasn't a traveling
so
motorcade.
he put you in a
Guys.
terrifying situation.
It wasn't a traveling motorcade in that they all stuck together. That rarely
it. I
happened
just
that
love
they
it.
actually stuck together.
It was a street.
We all
it's
know the
very
address
shameless.
we have to get back to. You'll get there when you get there. Deal with it. I will get you there safely, smoothly, and happily.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, if you want to go faster, feel free to ride with somebody else.
You could also give,
Love
you
it.
can rate Dane. Is what you
Yeah,
could do.
you could give him
You
5
give him a
stars.
rating.
Yeah.
But so that next night, we
Yeah.
got home. It was nothing crazy. So the Friday, right? So the Friday was another big day for media creation and all of that. So you guys probably saw we did make some live videos of us walking around. Sydney played as me. I also did a small little tour, but it was cool, man, because Ram was there, with Geist, and there was WD Detailing was there. They were shooting some content together, and then we had there's so many brands. Stoners was there, and Stoners
Also
was guys
very
from
nice
Stoners.
guys.
Awesome. I saw them pop
They
in for a
popped in the
quick second,
comments,
man. Rich is super cool. I mean, those guys, really, really friendly and really easy to get along with. And I think I could probably say about everybody, right? Jason Rose was there running around.
having fun.
And he was having a good time. Everybody was just in a really positive mood. Nobody was negative about anything. And I think that everybody, since nobody really knew how this event was going to go, everybody was open-minded. And because everybody was open-minded, I think everything for the most part went smoothly.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple audio issues, maybe a couple technical issues here and there, but you wouldn't have known because everybody was just so chipper about everything.
Yeah.
So lunch that day, we had barbecue. It was really, really good. We had shot a podcast with Jimbo going over the history of TRC. And
That was actually a great podcast. I'm looking forward to you guys hearing that one at some point.
and how we got into everything and how you joined the team and how Dane started everything in the garage and all of that. So it was a good recap to do that. And I want to say by the end of that day, though, I was already starting to kind of I was losing a little bit, right?
You're
Because
getting burned
I had
out
a
a
little bit of
little bit.
interaction. And then Dane goes, hey, so I think we should start doing some interviews and ask people how the event's going, right? And I'm like, that's a great idea, right? We'll pull in.
Build out an overarching
we'll
video.
pull in 3-4 people, talk about what their experience is
I
here.
planned a lot more than that.
So I started knocking out these interviews, which were amazing. They really were. I mean, the conversations were awesome. You know, the energy was good. Everybody was having a fun time. I mean, it was everybody. I mean, it was Pan, it was Rick, it was Bob, it was Rennie, it was Sydney, it was Alan, it was everybody,
Jessica,
right?
WD,
Jessica.
all those guys. Yeah.
And we're having these great conversations, but Dane keeps pulling these people, right? I'm talking
because I'm like, how often do we get a chance to interact with these people in person?
And I totally agree, right? I totally agree. I'm a one-man show, though. I'm not going to lie. I was starting, like, my voice was starting to go, and I'm like, all right, man.
See, if I'd had you there, I could have, like,
Dane,
said, hey, let's rotate.
Right?
Yeah.
I need someone to swap me out because my voice is starting to go. And Dane's like, no, well, just a couple more. Just a couple more.
So I had Ivan grab a few fisherman's friends, and we kept that thing going.
Yeah. I think we did. How many interviews would you say we did?
In the end, I think we may have 15 or 17, something like
It was
that.
like 15 or 17, anywhere from 5 minutes up to 15 minutes of each
it's a lot of
each
talking.
people.
It was a lot. But, I mean, we got everybody we could find time for. And I know there were still more, and I feel bad for anybody who didn't get a chance to be in there who may have wanted to. But we really did what we could with the time we had. We went overtime. Like, we literally stayed there until after hours until they finally basically just kicked us out.
Yeah.
So we used it all. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that Friday was a great day. And then that night, we went out to Italian place. What was it called?
Yes, it was Monticelli's. It was it had a different name.
Montezuma,
No, that's more.
Manganiello.
Point is, it was an Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
And of course, Jimmy was very excited. So this place, they did it like a family style thing, which is a point we brought up on the trip where when you have large groups of people.
Family style is the way to go.
Rather than having everybody just order the specific thing they want and everybody has to wait and all that stuff, you show up, the menu's already pre-decided. You just grab what of that you want and leave the rest, and it's fine.
Unfortunately, at the Italian place, milk and cream products were definitely on the list, and so they're pulling all this stuff out.
Maggiano's?
And I'm like,
maybe that was it.
I'm like, where is the dairy-free option? There wasn't really a dairy-free option, so I said, well, I'm going to go up to the bar. I'm going to go and get myself a drink, and then from there, that guy poured me probably the strongest old-fashioned I've ever had in my entire life, right? It was pure alcohol. And we started telling stories, and I got to say, honestly,
oh my God,
I
was so good.
I had a lot of my favorite people that I've met there that I'd never met before, right? And I got to say, Chris from Dr. Beasley's,
Super
awesome.
great guy.
He's coming tomorrow.
Yeah,
He's coming
he'll be
tomorrow.
here. We loved hanging out with him.
He was just so nice and so funny and really kind. And I got to do a shout out to one of our grand ambassadors, but you guys may know him from other things. Rick from Rad Garage.
Yes,
dude is freaking cool, man. He is hilarious.
He's a great addition to any room.
He's like same page as us. Like you throw him in a room, he gets along with everybody. He's got stories. He's fun. And him and Pan, the interaction between those two Canadians was just hilarious. And so we got to tell the story of us and Pan at SEMA, the Airbnb situation.
We had Chris from G Technic also.
Was
with us.
Pan in that? Like sitting there listening
Yeah,
to it?
He listened to the whole thing, and it was hilarious.
It?
Right to his face, because he walked up, and we're like, oh, we're about to tell this story. And he's like, oh.
Pan was just dying laughing, and
the team no sleep or no snore.
And then we had Jessica Tran who was there, and she was getting along with everybody
too.
But it was really kind of eye opening to see that most because they say don't meet your heroes, right? And let's be honest, right? We've met some heroes in the detailing industry,
who.
Right.
Maybe it was an off day.
They're maybe not.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. They're not maybe what we thought they would be like, but there's somebody, right?
Yeah.
Everybody that was there at this event, God, they were cool, dude. Everybody was able to joke around and laugh, and
vibes were immaculate.
The vibes were immaculate, and we all just had a really, really good time. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. We really connected well. But Rick from Rad Garage, man, me and him are like, I think we're like 15 years apart in age, right? But like me and him are like two peas in a pod. Like I can hang out with him all day long.
Nice.
He's super cool. So other than that, though, we had a great dinner.
Drive home at the end of that night. But you can get to that. So go ahead.
Other than that, though, we finished up dinner, right? Dessert was also more milk product. Dane bit into Dane bit into this dessert. I think it was some type of strawberry shortcake.
It made me think of a strawberry shortcake, but it was like the fanciest strawberry shortcake I've ever
seen. It was a 50 head nod strawberry shortcake bite, right? So he bit into it.
My head was like
the head nod is that's how you know Dane like
Yeah.
something.
So he started going.
Because
I'm like,
he starts nodding while he's
because they
chewing.
were all just like watch Dane eat, and like what, and Jimmy's like, no, you need to. And I'm like, fine, okay, I'll just. I didn't want to have a lot of dessert because I'm a big boy. I don't need it.
No.
But I was just like, all right, I'll try this thing. Fine, whatever. And then I take a little bite, and as I'm put it in my mouth, I go, wait a second. Oh my! And my eyes, just like suddenly, it's like eyes full of stars, you know.
yeah.
Just like,
no, Dane starts
oh
like
my
violently
God.
shaking, and I'm like, is he having an episode or like what's going on? He's like, this is amazing, Anthony. You have to try it. I said, Dane.
So yeah, good call, Jimmy.
always how we know.
Trying to watch everything. So from there, it was probably the most hilarious thing was we were getting our way out to the cars, right, to ride back home, and Dane, you were with me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Dane was with me in the car.
I think David Patterson is driving.
Yep.
Jimbo's with us.
Yeah, so it was me, Jimmy, Dane, Jimbo, and then David Patterson driving, right?
Was Jamie also with us or no?
I can't remember if Jamie was with us, right? So we got in that one car, right?
Suburban.
And then in the small BMW
X5
was
plug-in hybrid.
was Jason Rose was in there, and then I can't remember who else was in that car, but he had 3 or 4 people in the car.
It was like
with
his
him.
Rupa's crew. And
Yeah,
then some other folks.
yeah. And
Oh, the Veros guy was with him. Too.
Veros guy, Veros guy was,
he was
there.
He was filming.
Yeah, the Veros guy, Chris, I think his name was Chris as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool guy too.
Jankowski.
Yeah, also
So
super,
shout out him.
also super cool. So I love it. We're driving down these roads, right? And what's crazy is like there's so much warehouse districts there in Chicago that
Just
there's a lot
endless.
of these side business roads, with the big swoops that just kind of go on for what seems like freaking forever. And it's like the speed limit's like 40 miles an hour. People
they're
just go
long, empty
80.
It's like driving
'cause-
next to Sensi forever.
Yeah.
Okay.
And people just don't care at all. But we're driving, and the next thing you know, David Patterson pulls up next to Jason Rose, right? And I'm like, it was kind of like that feeling from like Meet the Parents when like like they pull up at that stoplight and it's like a race when you had
Roll the window down.
roll the window
looking
down.
over.
You got Robert De Niro looking over at Ben Stiller. And so we all roll our windows down. I go, what's the retail on one of those, right? And I think Jason was like,
he literally just said.
yeah, I think
Didn't
Jason
know
was
that.
like, I don't know, probably like $50K or something.
He was like 70 or something.
Yeah, I'm like Jason, that's not more than you can afford, pal, right? BMW, that's what you're supposed to say. So we pull up, and I'm like, I look at David Patterson, I'm like, dude, we gotta smoke him, right? So without even anything else happening, right? David puts it in gear, puts it in neutral, gives it a couple revs, right? And then Jason puts his in neutral, right? And he starts revving the crap out of it.
It's like, whoa, that's kind of aggressive, bud.
Yeah. And I'm looking over, Jason's just straight faced, like at the
Suddenly
light,
he's
right?
very
And I'm like,
serious.
are we doing this?
Also, this stoplight,
Was
it's
a
not a
turn.
straight. We're not driving forward. We have to turn left. So we're in 2 lanes that are going to turn left. We're on the inside lane. He's on the outside lane. So this looks like it's going to end poorly.
David's in a Suburban. He's got to cut this corner
yeah,
sharp.
no, that
dude.
thing's not a cornering monster by any means.
So we're like revving the engines. Chris from Veros is like, he's got his phone out trying to like
He's just ready for whatever
film the
happened.
whole race and everything like that. And we're all just screaming and yelling. We're like, all right, let's freaking do this thing, right? Waiting for that light
Just
to
hooting
count
and
down.
hollering.
And Jason Rose, right? The kindest, most
Mild
humble, sweet
mannered.
person, right? You get him on the line, right? You get him in a car. Dude's ready to go, man.
Yeah.
Like there's
Something
savage.
switches in that guy's brain.
Light hits, and dude, David floors the Suburban. Jason floors the Suburban, and I'm like, we're taking a turn here,
Whoa.
guys.
Grab
So,
the handle wherever you
like,
can.
foot to the floor. We're cutting this, hitting the apex, right? Is what we're
And there's
doing.
an island in the middle, so you have to not hit that.
And then it's a small straight after the turn, right? So we're like, go, go, go. Everybody's mashing. I can hear Jason's literally revving that thing to probably past red line, whatever the heck he can do. And David's flooring it. And right when we pass him, we're like, yeah. And I'm like, hit the hazards to let him know that we won the race.
Ricer
right?
fly by.
So I hit the hazards. And then David looks over and goes, oh, crap, we were supposed to get on the freeway there,
There was
right?
an on-ramp on the right.
So
we're like,
then
and we missed
Jason
it.
takes the freeway, and we were all dying laughing because we were like, well, that was, not the result we were
We had,
expecting.
we had a good screech the whole way through, though. I feel like we won.
Yeah,
the
I know,
part that
we
mattered.
did.
Yeah.
But so
good
that was kind of the end of that night. I went home. We were all so freaking tired. We slept, and Then on Saturday was what we did not know. They told us it was the meet and greet, the open house, right? Everybody's coming to that location again, and this is going to be where fans, friends, family, everybody gets to show up, and it's just a big meet and greet type of thing.
Hang out.
In my head, because we've done some meet and greets in the past. We usually 40 people, something like that.
40,
where it's like, this is a pretty good turnout.
I think 100 is the most we ever had, and that was at the old store when we did that car show.
Yeah, and this thing we showed up to was a beast that we were not prepared for.
A lot of people.
Everybody that knows that went there was, I don't know how many people were there, but it was insane. Huge line, right, for Pan the organizer, right? Insane. There was all these people wandering around. There was people doing demonstrations still, right?
It's like a detailing Comic-Con.
It had started at 10. People were showing up at 9, right? We know that David Cervantes got there a little early, right? But everybody was showing up, and honestly, me and Dane were finishing up the last few interviews upstairs, so we hadn't really seen how many people had gathered downstairs. And I start walking downstairs, and I go, oh my God, I'm a very social person, but this is actually a little overwhelming.
It's too much.
And you're already
myself.
vocally fried from earlier in the week, so you're like, I have to not seem
my
totally
voice
burned
is
out.
my voice is pretty much.
What on earth? Okay, this is not. No. Way to cut right into the story. My God.
That's right.
I was hoping that
That's a good song right there.
Wow,
So that's it.
that
It
was
nice.
well,
Well,
happy-
happy
I
birthday,
Felt
David.
that. Oh,
Happy
thank
birthday.
you
That
guys.
was
Wow, that was
painful to listen to. Good
Wow.
God,
They're all giggling.
giggling
They're
like
giggling.
like
They're
schoolgirls
just
out there.
giggling. Jeez.
So it was just kind of an overwhelming amount of people. It basically was what I'm trying to say. But what was super cool is I'm walking down the stairs, and who do I see first? I see David there, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, what's going on? And I could tell, like David kind of mentioned in the comments, he kind of felt a little overwhelmed, right?
Yeah,
and I went
so many
down
people.
there, and he's just like, dude, he's like, this is crazy. Like, I'm having a little bit of social anxiety, and I'm
Thanks,
also
guys.
like, can't believe I'm here, seeing you guys in person. And I kind of, like I said, me and David started talking. We hit it off right off the bat, and I, asked him how his drive was and how everything else was going. And from there, it was one thing after another, right? I mean, Dane came down. Next thing you know, Dane's talking to everybody. He's meeting everybody. And Carson, remember Carson from our Wash
Yeah, with the
Wednesday?
Super
I
XT.
think his dad's name was Chuck, right?
Yep.
And so Carson and his uncle and then
His
their
whole
mom was
family,
there.
basically.
They were so excited to be there.
my
They
God, they
brought
were
their
so excited.
Subarus there, and I mean, it was one person after another.
Yeah.
All these friendly faces greeting me, and some people I've never met before, but some people that were maybe podcast listeners that
We met
I didn't
Kim.
know what their face looked. I have a story about Kim
Yeah.
here, and I'll tell you here in a second. But I have all these faces that I don't know what they look like, but if they tell me their username, then I go, oh yeah, then I know your
Like that
username,
CJ,
right?
like all those guys, yeah.
And so like CJ Burns and all these other people, but it was nonstop. They had given us Sharpies at the beginning of the day saying, hey, you might need these to like sign some t-shirts and stuff.
And you're
I'm
thinking, like, realistically, how many
I'm like,
people
dude,
are
does
really
anybody
gonna
actually
my
want things
signature?
signed by a guy from a towel company, right? Boy, was I wrong. We must have signed 60, 70 shirts or however many it was. We're signing all these shirts, skateboards, all these other random
Posters.
things. And I've never felt so towel famous in my life, basically. It was
kinda crazy.
not real fame, but there's definitely some towel fame there. And it was, I guess, the conversations I was having with people, how excited people were to see us was amazing. Everybody was asking about Levi, and they were going, where's Levi? But also, the people that weren't asking knew that it was Augie's birthday. They go, oh,
Yeah.
Augie's birthday.
They already
Levi
knew.
couldn't make it. And I go, I'm like, man, you're on top
You're
of it.
really keeping track.
You know it all,
Okay.
right? Or somebody would come up to me and say, how's the shed going? And I'm like,
Yeah.
shed's going awesome, right? And it was a lot of good stuff.
A lot of massage chair jokes.
A lot of massage
Definitely
chair
got those.
jokes. But Casper was there. And then there was a guy named Boosted John who's a YouTuber who makes Honda content. He actually drove 40 minutes to an hour because he wanted to come meet me, and he wanted to show me his car. So I was talking to him for a while inside there. And I actually kind of felt bad because there's people kind of trying to come talk to me, but this guy was like really like, he's like, hey, I came just to talk to you. So I'm trying to give everybody like some equal attention.
Yeah.
But it's kind of tough when there's so many, and
people are trying to be polite. Like, they're not trying to cut in.
Yeah.
They're just standing back and hovering, and you feel bad because
Well, I would imagine it's like SEMA, where we feel like we're talking to somebody and then someone shows up, and we have to give everybody appropriate time.
And it's rude to
but
just
then there's
cut off
also
what you're
people
doing.
who are there wanting to learn more about what we do.
Yeah,
so
and
they
at
have
SEMA,
certain
it's
questions.
people who want to learn that stuff.
Yeah,
Luckily
or they wanna
here,
set
it
up
was
an
just people who
account
wanted to talk to you about.
But it is that
Yeah.
balancing act that you have
and,
to do.
And so that's why I'm like, I just want to make it very clear. If anybody was there and they were like, oh man, Anthony was kind of rude, he didn't pay attention to me.
He's really trying, guys.
I was really trying. I was also very exhausted. But yeah, there were certain people that were like, hey, I really want to pick your brain on something. I go, okay, I don't want to, ignore you. So I want to do this. But this is where I felt absolutely horrible. I was talking to somebody or I was signing something, right? And I see this small woman in the back, right, wearing this pink hoodie, and she goes, Anthony, and I go, oh, I'm like, there's a familiar face, and then I heard her say, it's for Kim, right? And I was like, for Kim, okay. And somebody said to me behind my ear, oh, I think that's Kimberly's sister or something.
What?
So I was like, oh, Kimberly's sister. I'm like, oh, Kimberly. I was thinking Kimberly MC. I'm like, oh, maybe her sister's here. Maybe she looks a lot like her, right? That makes sense, right? Maybe it's her sister because somebody said Kimberly couldn't make it or possibly couldn't make it.
Right.
So then I had
this
I built this whole story in my head that Kimberly's sister showed up in place of Kimberly because she couldn't make it and she was getting maybe a signed T-shirt for her or something like that, right? So I said, oh, cool, right? So I think I had signed it or whatever it was. And then after having this conversation with this like Honda guy, I was going out to his car to look at his car, and then this one walks up to me in the pink TRC hoodie and says, "Oh, can I get a hug?" Right? I'm like, "Absolutely." It was the best hug of my entire life. I don't think I've ever had a hug that good. Pretty much ever. I don't think my mom even hugs me like that, right?
Petey and Sarah's happy birthday day. Did I mention all the great hugs?
So I give this great hug, and I go, man, Kimberly's sister's awesome, right? Super cool, right? Like
it was a great hoodie, by the way.
And I get back, and then everybody goes, oh, so did you see Kim? And I go, what? I saw Kimberly's sister. That wasn't Kimberly's sister. That was Kim. And I go, why did I have this whole thing built out in my head?
I had to explain to him that it was Kim.
So Kim, I am so sorry. I didn't know. I thought it was your sister. I don't even know if you have a sister. But
it was so nice to meet you.
Just know that it was very nice to meet you, and that was again probably one of the best hugs I've ever gotten.
I realized you were a little panicked and like in a big environment. It was a little scary and stuff, but thank you so much for coming out. We really appreciate
we really do, and we hope you come out to another event again soon.
You were far from the only person who was having a little bit of anxiety about just
Levi,
how many people
you need
there.
one of those hugs as well. When I say you need one, it will breathe life into you. It was amazing.
That's nice.
But other people that we met, I don't know.
So many.
There was so many.
Well,
there was a Fred, there was a Frank, there was a Bob, there was a Mike, there was a Phil, there was obviously Casper that was there. All these amazing people. David was there, and yeah, I don't know. I've just never been surrounded by so many people that knew us for the podcast and for our videos. Some people came up and said, hey, man, love the YouTube videos. I think some of the stuff's really funny. And then most of everybody else was like, hey, podcast. I was listening to this, and this.
They were about the podcast.
So Antoine's mobile detailing, right, who popped in, right? He popped in. He said hi. And yeah, a lot of shirt signing. But before you know it, I mean, everything was starting to wrap up kind of around 2-ish. It was from 10 to 2 was this open house. We said our goodbyes to everybody. We had to go around, hug, shake, do everything. And that was when we were pretty much on our way back to the
Thanks,
airport.
Joey.
Yeah.
So what was your major takeaway from Dane, for you, yourself, from that event?
So, I mean, the biggest thing was going into this event, knowing it was going to be a first-year event and knowing what it takes to put one of these things on, do anything remotely like that. TRC is kind of a different beast because it's live, which puts a different kind of pressure on all this stuff, but you don't quite have the same environment that you did here. I really enjoyed this environment because it was less hectic. Yes, people had schedules, But the nice thing was, in all the free time in between the scheduled, appearances of people meeting up with other vendors, this creator, this vendor, whatever, other people were just free to make up their own schedule based on who was available. So you could go and just like, hey, can I go and like shoot a thing with you up front or whatever? And like, yeah, absolutely. I'm not doing anything right now. I don't have anything until 3:00. You want to, go. So it was great because we were able to get a hold of virtually anybody we wanted as long as they weren't busy. And I was just so excited to be able to catch up with these people that I'd seen online for years. Yeah. Like getting to meet, Brian from Apex or, WD Details. Just anybody like that. It was interesting and fun. And like Chelsea was super nice. Chelsea was great. Attention to details, Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea's awesome.
Yeah, no,
super
like
funny.
Any of these folks were really just, like we said before, the Immaculate Vibes thing. It's true. Everybody there was actually like positive. Yeah. And they did what they could to try and, benefit others. And there was no weird negative attitude or anything. The closest thing I could say realistically to anything that was negative was just sometimes a sound like bled into other bays while you're trying to shoot a video or something, and some people are a little more sensitive to that than others. But apart from that, there really wasn't anything negative to say. Everybody was happy to be there. Everybody got what they wanted out of it. And looking at it, I think a lot of people see the potential to do more in the future because now they understand, oh, this is how this works. Yeah. So now they can go back with more of a plan.
It might become an annual thing.
And adapt it. Because I'll say right now, I'm 1,000% in favor of going back, and I want you to be there. Yeah. And I think, the three of us plus Jimmy were a great team to do that. It worked great.
Well, so now we did have an issue, though, with getting back to the airport. Okay. Because I asked Eric, I said, hey, man, I'm going to need a ride back. And he goes, dude, you might have to Uber. All my hands are tied with everything right now. Yeah. And so there was this beautiful angel of a person who just happened to be there and say, I can give you a ride to the airport. And we're like, you don't have to do that. And he goes, no, it would be my pleasure, right? So, Dane, what happened with it? What happened with our airport drive?
Well, it was very nice because we felt like, we're going to have to get an Uber or something because the airport rides that the guys at the show had planned were for Saturday. People who were sticking around an extra day, the people who were going to go to Chicago later in the day. We did not have that option because we had to be at the airport by about, I would say, like 3:30 was kind of our goal. Oh, wow. And we've been told by other people that you absolutely have to get there. It's going to be so busy. You won't know what to do with yourself. It's like, okay, despite our flight leaving at 6, it sounds like we got to be there on time. So, get there early and just don't screw it up. So, we were about to go order an Uber when I was talking to David, and he mentions like, I have my car here, and he drove like 300 miles to get to the show.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
He drove over from Ohio, and then he was just like, I can give you guys a ride to the airport. And it was such a nice offer, and normally it's just kind of like, oh, no, I don't want to make you go out of your way and do that stuff. I'm sure you got plans or whatever. He goes, no, I'm just going back to the hotel after us. He was staying at the Home 2 Suites, which is funny. So good call
work,
there,
David. Good
by
work.
the way, David. So he basically just told us, I got a pickup truck. You guys will fit in there. Throw your stuff in the back bed, and
we didn't just throw our stuff in the back bed. He literally
ratcheted it.
He ratchet strapped our bags into the back.
Making sure no surprises.
That's a premium service.
A premium service. Yeah. I was seeing him. I'm like, you don't have to ratchet that. These bags can just flop around here on these bumpy Chicago roads. And he goes, oh no, my pleasure, right? And I'm like, this is quite nice, and right?
Chevy Silverado had that lovely baseball glove brown leather in
very
it.
Comforting.
Very comforting.
Very comforting on those stressful roads.
It was a nice space to be. So shout out David for the awesome ride to the airport. You did the best chauffeur job you could do.
Good work,
for us,
David.
it was absolutely a 5-star ride.
It was funny because on the ride there, it was like, David, so you have any questions for us?
We're like
I'm like, this is quite the service. I mean,
isolated
you could have your own Q&A
with
here. And he goes, well, no, I think
on the spot.
I'm pretty good right now. I'm like, let me know. We have a 20-minute ride still, so
still driving.
Happy to answer anything for you.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we just had fun with everything, and it was a really good time. So that was that. We got to the hotel, or not the hotel, the airport. And it was telling Dane, I said, dude, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little peopled out right now. I loved everybody. I love seeing everybody. But I think I just need some quiet time, right?
It happens to us at the end of every trip. You just kind of like, we get in our zone.
You just kind of
want to get home.
Want to relax. And my favorite thing was that we go to the food court to go and grab some food after we, got all of our stuff checked in. And we're sitting there. And then we hear out of the back, behind me, I go, well, there's some familiar faces or something like that.
Yeah.
And I turn around and it was Nate from Gion, right? He goes, what's going on, guys? Long time no see, right? It's been like literally 40 minutes. And at the time I was like, dude, hang out, join us, right? Kind of just like offering, hey, can I hang out and join us? And he goes, oh, absolutely, I'll sit down with you. And I'm like, I just realized I've committed to too much more communication.
Now you get to talk more.
And so, fortunately,
but it's no mark against him. Like he's great.
Fortunately, Nathan's super chill. He's super cool. So I was like, that's the perfect person.
He could be mellow.
He could be mellow. That was here join the table because I was like, I am just totally talked out right now. But we just hung out, talked about some stuff, and then before you know it, we were on our flight. So we flew
flight back home.
Flew to Minneapolis, right?
Bounce landing. That was kind
middle
of fun.
bounce landing was fine. Then we got back home around midnight in Boise, and then I think we all got rides back home from our significant others.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a wrap of the trip. I mean, amazing trip overall. Thank you to the whole Car Supplies Warehouse team, as well as Chicago Auto Pros, Jason, Eric, and everybody
Exceeded
for putting this together.
expectations.
Chelsea as well for helping me pull this together because. Yeah, it exceeded expectations. 10 out of 10 would go again, and I would tell anybody that is curious about whether or not it's worth going to maybe the open house or something like that, 100%. I think it's absolutely worth it. It's the closest you'll ever get to meeting all these people that you guys see online. Oh, there you go. We got them in the house. It's the closest you'll ever get to meeting everybody that you watch on YouTube, but also being able to get information, good food, and then just overall good vibes, man.
Nice.
It was just way too good of a trip. So
I can't wait to go back.
10 out of 10 would trip again. Yeah,
nice.
It was awesome. So from there, I mean, Dane, you had a Sunday. I had a Sunday.
Yeah.
Mine wasn't too crazy. I'll just say I went on a motorcycle ride in the morning. Wanted to go do that. After that, I think I spent time with the family.
Of course.
Did a little bit of that. Caught up with the family.
We wanted to be back in time to enjoy a full Sunday.
I don't know what the heck else I did actually on that Sunday. I did something else, but
that's my
problem.
All right. I can't even think. My brain's kind of fried right now. But Dane,
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
You did quite a bit on that Sunday, didn't you?
Yeah, no. Sunday it was basically catch up, do grocery shopping. I built a couple more things I'd ordered on Wayfair. I didn't stream them this time, but I did decide to randomly stream my trip to Express Cafe because that was a mission I had for myself. And I will point out. I will go down here to find the comment wherever it was. Dino, yes. Dino is there. Boys and girls, just to tell you guys, I was with Dane on the Express Cafe drive-in. They do know him. He did not tell anything that would suggest it was him, and they asked if it was Dane.
Wow.
It's true.
Wow.
They knew.
And that's from another country.
That's a guy from a completely different country who picked up on that in the street. So, Dino, you're a trooper, dude.
Nice.
But I didn't get him a donut and a macchiato, so sorry, buddy. But no, I just thought that was really fun. But yeah, no, I did that. And then on Monday, which I took Monday off because, as you know, Anthony had taken the day off prior to our trip. I took off Monday, just kind of balanced, and I'm here today. But yesterday, I kind of went for a drive, just kind of like a pre-birthday drive. I'm like, this car hasn't even crossed at 27,000 miles yet. I need to put some miles on this thing. And my battery had been low, and when I got home from the trip, the jack battery was dead. And I was like, oh, my God, really? Yeah. So I went and I charged it up, and I was like, well, I got to make sure this charge maintains. I need to go drive it a bit,
Hold on.
put load on it.
Dane, there's something that I've noticed that there's an issue with what you've just said there.
What?
Dane noticed a low battery.
Yeah.
I would have
replaced it.
Knowing Dane, I would have imagined you would have just went out and bought a new battery.
See, it's funny because he knows me well. You know what I did?
The tires are at a certain level.
While I was at Costco, I picked up an H8 battery at 900 cold cranking amps.
Of course he did.
And I picked it up, and then I was like, but just to be sure, I'm going to charge this other battery up. Now that it's died once, I know it's not going to hold the same charge
Here's
again.
something fun that I've started doing.
Yes.
Keep that battery in the garage.
Exactly. I put it in a tote, and it's up on the shelf.
Use it in case you need to jump start your car.
That's a good call.
As long as it's not on the concrete for too long.
The main thing is
it'll still hold a charge.
The battery in the Jag is kind of
just usually enough to jump a car.
Buried under the trunk. So it takes a little bit of getting to. So I thought, well, the charge terminals are under the hood. You can just do that. Yeah. So I charged it up, and I was like, well, if this thing starts up, then we're good. But I want that other battery here just in case. So that was a fully fresh battery, just waiting, but it's fine. And the Costco price on it was excellent compared to some of the other prices I saw those things go for. Because it's one of those wide, skinny boys. But yeah, no, I charged up the battery, and what's funny is if you have a charger attached to that car and the car is locked, the alarm just goes off constantly. So I was sitting there blowing my eardrums out until I could grab the keys, find them, and unlock it. Then it was okay. But when you unlock it, the battery gets more worn out. Anyway, I was like, I need to, put some load on this, drive it around, make sure that I don't get a low battery.
So you live streamed your drive?
No, I kept it to myself.
Okay.
I kept this drive to myself. So what I did was
the Sunday morning breakfast was
this was a personal pleasure drive.
This was a personal pleasure drive that I hadn't done in a long time, and I told myself, well, I haven't really taken this car in like a true drive yet, like really put it through its paces, done all that. I got fresh oil in it, all the things good. I got the new springs. I was like, all right.
Tires, of course.
And I got new tires up front.
On rotation.
It is good. It is good to go. So let me see what this thing's about and really enjoy it. And I took it on a reverse Loman loop. So I went up to Banks, I turned, and then I drove through there, and I took Loman, the road back up through Idaho City and then back in.
Okay, very nice.
I will say the area in between Banks and Loman, that road was amazing. Like, I pushed that car harder than I think I ever even pushed my previous Jag, which, I mean, I was going for it. But that's because there was nobody around. It's broad daylight. It's, I won't call it safe, but, it was in an area where I'm minding my surroundings, knowing the environment. And, definitely set some new high average speeds, some fun there.
Nice.
But, went shifting through and had a great time. And then, I mean, the tarmac was so smooth through there, too. It's like they just recently paved it. It was very nice. But then I got to Loman, and I started going up that hill. And what I remember from that previously was that there's some weird dips in there. Winter kind of wreaks havoc on those roads. It's not the best. Mm-hmm. So as you get up there, you realize a lot of these potholes and various things haven't really been filled in. There's a lot of rock slides and random stuff. So throughout my entire drive up there, I'm going for it, but I'm also like dodging boulders in the middle of the road and down trees and some major elevation stuff. So I definitely got some hair-raising moments, but I feel like, I'm one with the car. I had a really good time, and all told, I'm happy I did it. Even though it got sketchy towards the end there, the car's in good shape. It's just dirty.
There you go.
So, had a great time.
Nice.
But that was my pre-birthday drive, so I was very excited about that.
I was going to say, that's awesome. I'm glad you guys had a great time. The final thing I wanted to say, thank you to those that have tuned in and listened to my latest project. Carly and I started a little podcast.
Yeah.
So
nice.
We've got the links available on Her Mommy Meme Jeans on my Facebook, so feel free, go check it out. It's been a lot of fun, and thank you to everybody that sent great messages.
You call it the golden gates.
The Golden Gates.
The not so pearly gates.
The not so pearly gates. Ooh, I like that.
So there you go.
Oh, man. Well, and the last thing I guess I would say as a shout out, obviously, to the whole crew who ran that show. That was amazing. Really enjoyed it. Can't wait to go back. And to everybody who came and saw us, thank you so much for taking time.
If we missed your name here, I apologize greatly.
I know there's some folks whose names we may have forgot to mention. I'm sorry, but we met all of you, and we really enjoyed our conversation. So please come by again, do it again if you get the chance. And David, I mean, you drove way out of your way in your own vehicle, so that was really cool too. You didn't have to do that, but thank you. Because there were definitely people that we talked to who were like, I showed up just for you guys. And I was like, wow, cool. That felt really special. And I just want to say thank you to you. And the last thing I'll say is I watched Beef on Netflix based on Jimmy's recommendation. It was really worth it. That was a good show. So I'll throw that out there as a random aside.
Watch some beef while eating a Portillo's beef sandwich. It's time to wrap this thing up.
Take it home.
Speaking of which, so Dane, take us away.
Yeah, so thank you, Joey. You've said it a few times now, but I appreciate it. And to everybody else who said happy birthday, thank you. I am intent on enjoying my 34th year here, so, doing what I can. All right, guys, thank you so much. We will talk to you later this week for Q&A Thursday. If you're not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Please go ahead and click that subscribe button. Click like on this video so that it gets out in front of more folks. And I did notice some reviews popping up. Spotify allows for individual reviews on episodes now, so you can do that. Or iTunes reviews are also helpful. Wherever you get your podcast from, super, super helpful. So on that note, I'm getting the cue.
Yeah, your mom says we have to go over there for birthdays. They have birthdays going on over there. So that's it, folks. We will talk to you later this week for Q&A. Take care. See ya.